Hello everyone, and then good morning or good afternoon to you all. My name is Emmanuel Ojide. I am a Microsoft 365 administrator on behalf of Nene Labs, and today I am a Microsoft Teams specialist for a client. I've been deployed as a Teams administrator or a Teams specialist, a freelance Teams specialist to work for the client, where I am managing Teams, deployment of Teams policies, and upgrading of Teams settings and integration of Teams with applications and more. So let us begin. So under Teams settings, we can manage our Teams settings as well. So let's create a new Teams for the client. So for our new Teams we'll call it for our new Teams we'll call it Heritage Farms Teams. For Heritage Farms Ghana and Nigeria. So this will be a public Teams channel. You can also make it private and click on apply to create a new team. Okay, so Heritage Farms Teams has been created. So now what we can do now is we can also proceed to edit this team. Message permissions. We can also switch it to private. Let's make it private. Then edit messages, delete sent messages. You cannot delete sent messages. Mentions, we can allow mentions. Guest permissions. We are expecting some guests into our organization, so guests can add and edit the channel. And Giphy, yes, stickers and memes, custom memes are allowed, and then we apply. So this is allowed into our private Teams. Okay, so under these team settings, we can manage the way that Teams handles are appeared, so we can integrate and tweak our team settings. Make money together. Successful together. Do our Teams. Users can send emails to a channel email address. Yes. So they also allow creation of custom channels who can manage tags. You set it as team owners, members, and guests. No, team owners and only members. team as members, and then I'm sorry about that. Even can change who can manage tags. Yes, suggested tags, press a space after you enter a tag. And say heritage. You can implicate constant and shift tabs can apply tags. Email integration, files. Select the file storage and sharing those that you want in the files tab. So we won't allow Citrix, Dropbox, Google Drive. You can allow, let's say allow for Dropbox and Ignite. Okay, let users see others in their organization hierarchy. This is pertinent and important. This is important. And then for devices, require a singular form of authentication to access meeting content. No. Then set content pin, required for outside scheduled meeting. Yes. Depending on what has been discussed, scope directory search using an exchange address book policy. Scope directory search using an exchange address book policy. I can on this. Safety and communications. We won't be needing this. Share channel, profile links for board page. We won't be needing this. So let's click on save to apply our settings. Click on confirm. Click on confirm. Now for Teams policies, let's deploy Teams policies. So for Teams policy, we can create a Teams policy now under the organizational wide default. No, let's click on add to create a fresh policy from start. So we call this the heritage farms tech sub team policy for collaboration of tech sub and heritage farms. So for this policy, discover private teams, create private channels, invite external users to share channels, allowed, join external channels, no. Then we click on, after reviewing our policy, we click on apply. Excuse me. Then what is remaining, we need to assign this custom policy now. So we go over to group policy assignment, then we click on add and assign this to our group. Also let's see. Teams policy, give it a rank of 1 and click on apply. Okay, that's that. Then Teams templates, we won't be doing much here, although we can create a team from scratch. So Teams template, let's create a template from onboarding of employees. So onboard employees. Yeah, man. So for the apps for this team, we integrate Fiverr, Engage, this is grayed out. Excuse me. So select the template as a starting point. That will be the onboard employees. That will be the onboarding of teams, onboard employees, onboard employees for heritage. Okay, local English. So the apps that we integrate, we need Power Automate, Yammer, okay, all these apps will be added. We can even add more apps. I think pretty much everything is integrated. Pretty much. Yammer. Let's see if we can even add more. Okay, no need for this. So we submit. So this is our Teams. If we go back to our Teams, it should appear. Refresh. So for our Teams settings, we can click on add. For our team settings, call this heritage teams, policy 1. Teams update policies. Users can opt in for the update. Then click on apply. Then we can assign this group to this Teams policy to assign this Teams policy to our teams, our team members. Click on add. The policy, give it a rank of 2, and then apply, and click on confirm to confirm this policy. So we assign this policy with a rank of 1. We can also go on to manage our users. Let's check out our Teams upgrade settings as well. So okay, nothing much to do for the organization here. Manage users now. Let's see if we can manage our users. So for Ademola Lukman, let me tweak his settings. He said he wanted to be able to start and create channels. Okay, he said he wanted to create some channels, so I can even add him to more teams. So for the teams, I will add him as a member. Let's add him to the heritage farms teams and select role, add him as a owner as well, and click on apply. Okay, so for voicemail, I can tweak voicemail. You can leave a voicemail. Okay. Then so we tweak our settings and we click on save. Under applications, we integrate apps for our user as well. As I said earlier, my client has an oncoming guest, so they specify guest access to on for our user. So guest user cannot make private calls yet. Video conferencing on, sharing screen, entire screen, of course. Meet now in channels also on, and then we click on save. Also for external access for communication with other, allow external domains as well. All external domains is fine for now. I was not given any specific domain to add or impute, but this is okay. Teams account not managed by an organization. I also on this as well, and then yes, we click on save to allow communication with users in our partner organizations. Okay. Forgive my external noise. And then more Teams devices. Teams rooms for Windows. So we can deploy Teams rooms for Windows, but we don't have such in our organizations for now, especially the likes of Teams phones. No user phones. No user phones has been added into our tenant yet. But for Teams apps, we can do some integrations as well. We manage our app settings. We also configure our Teams app, meetings and messaging, locations as well. Hello everyone, so we continue from where we stopped. We're about to do some documentation. So where we stopped is we are going to integrate our Teams apps. Click on manage apps. So let's begin in trying to integrate our applications into our Teams. Excuse me. So for applications now, let's look for applications such as let's see, Jira. So integrate Jira, integration of Jira. Let's say Jira Cloud, add to team. Now let's add which team we had added to Heritage Farm Teams. Click on add. Then let's integrate this application into our teams. We also add this as well to the Heritage Teams. Click on add. And also add this as well. God help me for this interview in Jesus' name. Amen. So let's add this as well. Apply this. And that's that. So we'll go over to our permission policies. We won't do this for now, but we'll go back to this later. Let's go to our meeting settings. Tweaking of meeting settings for our users. So audio conferencing policies. So far so good. We came to our meeting policies and we tweaked and made some changes to our policy. We set this to always on, anonymous users, turn this off. External meeting chats, turn on reactions as well, on for everyone but anonymous users. recording and translation, meeting recording on. After 120 days, transcription off. After I return on, the transcription is valid. Live captions, yes, off. On with save transcription. Network configuration lookup. Can use video effects. All video effects is possible. Live streaming on. Oh, this should be off actually. I'll see, click on save. Saving our policy. So our policy has been saved. You can even go on to for customization of policies. So let's configure our meeting settings as well. Anonymous users cannot join meetings. Off. to configure this, at least for the meantime, let's go back to messaging and configure messaging policies and messaging settings. So messaging policies, so for messaging policies we add our default policy. For the default policy, owners can delete sent message off. You can delete a sent message. You cannot delete chat. Edit sent message is allowed. Read receipts, user controlled. Turn on for everyone. Chats is on. Chats with groups. Can upload custom images. Digital and heritage company messaging policy. Okay, for collaboration. Now let's assign these to groups. Human resources, Nene Labs. Heritage. Supplies policy. Okay, so let's check our messaging settings on custom emojis. Yes, let's confirm this as well. So this is confirmed in our tenant. This is confirmed in our tenant. Then for voice settings, phone numbers, we'll be doing this for now. Yes. You can enhance encryption for our users. I will be doing this for now because I have not been directed by my manager to do that. However, this is a work documentation. I can always do that later for when I'm directed to, but I have been permitted by my clients to do documentations on my tenants. Okay, so shared calling policies, voice routing policies. Let's do on calling policies first. Let's see what this does for us. Let's add a new calling policy. Make private calls. Turn that on. Cloud call recording for calls. That's allowed. Okay, let's show me private calls. Transcription. Let's leave this as off. Let's turn it off. So this policy, we call it a heritage policy. Heritage calling. This is for strictly automatically answer incoming invites. Spam filtering, yes, this must be on. Save devices can be used for calls. Voicemail for inbound calls. Always on. Okay, so we click on save. For calling policies, now we can assign these policies to one of our users, to one of the human resources channels or teams. Human. Apply this. Your money. Let's also assign this to heritage as well. Let's confirm this. So let's implement our caller ID policies as well. Lock incoming caller ID. Digital heritage caller ID. And also we can go on to enhance encryption. So let's try to enhance our encryption policy. So we have been able to add an encryption policy. End-to-end call encryption must be enabled. Let's say users can enable this, and then we click on save. And I think that's all for my task given to me by my clients. Thank you for following up with me.